Just a touch, just a skosh, just a tad. No sponsorships on this. Who do I put this in? That's fine. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Marshay Dominique. Let me start by apologizing for my absence. I've been gone from YouTube for a long time. I had to get, I had to get the confidence. I'm not gonna lie, being on social media can be jarring, you know, it leaves space for you to get trolled in the comments. There will be no trolling on my channel. If I see you talking out the side of your neck, I'm gonna block you. That's it. I'm starting off the morning ride with a drink. We really want to get into New Year's resolutions. I want to update you guys on what's going on with me and my brand. We get ready together. So you'll be hearing my music. I'm gonna play my music behind what's going on right now, so you'll be able to hear my voice. But if you like the songs, you can look them up. I have music available on all streaming platforms. I'm gonna put that in bold somewhere. And before I start, I'm gonna have my son jump in and say hello because he's eyeballing me. We're getting ready together. I already took my shower. Y'all can't do that with me. I'll do my skincare with you, I suppose. Now, the girls be really going in about the skincare. I'm not gonna hold y'all. All I use is soap and water. Soap and water and some lotion.
What up, guys? Welcome to Mommy and Zaya's channel.
Oh, okay. All right. Publishing and royalties and residuals.
Make sure to like and smash that like button.
Yep. Subscribe. Isaiah has a channel that's pending. We're gonna get him up, and he's gonna be doing some of his own videos as well.
My mom, we're gonna pretty do some together, but sometimes I just do them alone.
One thing I did want us to do together, part of my New Year's resolution, is I want to be on social media more, particularly YouTube. I want to post more channels. I want to bring you guys into our life. We just relocated to Florida, so we live in the Sunshine State, and we want to do some mukbangs. So if you can get us to, like, I don't know,
50,000 likes.
50,000 likes would be sick.
Or 10 likes.
I would prefer 50,000 likes. I would. 50,000 likes.
50,000 likes, we'll do another mukbang.
We'll do some mukbangs for sure. So back to the skincare routine, you guys. I'm using a lip mask courtesy of one of my friends, actually. Her name is Cha-Cha. That's not her real name, but I ain't putting her government out here like that. I went to high school with her, and before I left New York, that's where I was living, we actually had a little shindig, a Thanksgiving shindig, and she got us all some skincare products. It's courtesy of Cha-Cha, and it's called Sweet Berry Lip Sleeping Mask. I wear it all the time, not just when I'm sleeping, so can't have crusty, chappy, crazy lips. I just do lotion and soap and water. I'm sure that, you know, if I cared to invest more in skincare, I would probably be one of those people who wear the masks and do the rolling, you know, little utensils. I like utensils. We can get into utensils, but no, not right now. Right now, my skin is adjusting to the Florida sun, and I don't want to do too much. That's step one. Step two, wine. Not too much. Step three is going to be the foundation. I start with foundation. Now, right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going through a transition with my skin. I feel like normally my makeup is a little bit lighter, and I'm buying foundation that matches the darker tone in my skin. So after I put this foundation on, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. We black. Okay, one thing I'm not gonna do is buy makeup that's too light for my skin tone. Did that back in the day when I didn't understand how to match and blend. Now that I know how to do that, yeah, no. I used to have what I call Michael Jackson makeup, because when I start sweating, you can see the real skin underneath. Or we ain't gonna go into that. The real purpose of this video, as you can see by the title, I really wanted to get into just my 2025 New Year's resolutions, because Happy New Year. I say it 35 more times before the end of this video. Definitely want to leave 2024 behind. I think we all can agree 2024 was a moment. It was a moment in time. I'm starting to move into the spirit of, we don't speak negativity. We don't say things negatively. We speak gratitude and prosperity. So even if something wasn't pleasurable all the way, we learned a great lesson. So 2024 was a year full of learning lessons. Let's do highs and lows. So for me, my high from 2024, man, I don't even know. My high from 2024, the high from 2024 for me was actually moving to Florida. I had made the decision to relocate myself and my child from Rochester, New York. Shout out to Rochester. Sleepy little town, and I have mixed feelings about it, so I'm not gonna get too much into how I feel. I don't wanna get ate up by my hometown. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was not an experience that I recommend. 0 out of 10, tomato, boo. No, I didn't enjoy being a Rochesterian. I don't think I know very many people who do. I think you adjust, you adapt, you make things happen. And that's what I did, you know, I got through it. I know when it came down to my career and my record label, shout out to Moneytown Records, LLC. Started my record label in 2023 officially, and I've been producing my own music, writing, recording, and engineering my own songs for so long. I realized, you know, I really need to just go into business for myself. And being in Rochester meant I was always kind of desperate for gigs. Like I always really wanted other people to see my star shining and support it. And you know how people say in your hometown, you're not gonna be treated the way you would be treated somewhere else. Also, don't come for me. This is how I do my concealer. I don't like to smear a whole lot on. I like to kind of blot it and then blend it in. I've been doing my own hair and makeup since I was like 15, so trust the process. And we take a wine break. We done started talking about Rochester, gotta take a wine break. You know, I don't know if many of you know, I'm a single mom, and being a single mom who's hustling to be an entrepreneur at the same time, you need support, but you also just need encouragement and you need positivity. I think that in your hometown, it's hard to get that. No matter where you live, no matter where you're from, everyone just knows you, or they think they know you, and maybe sometimes they don't update their software. That's what I like to say. If their software is not up to date and you're upgrading, you end up feeling like a big fish in a small sea or a small lake or whatever. So I saw that in my future, I definitely needed to start making moves to get out of Rochester at least 2 to 3 years ago, when I decided I wanted to actually go into business for myself as a record label owner. And I needed to get around people who could give me advice. You can't really get advice from people who are hating on you and don't support you and don't want you to have what you're trying to get. So enough of that. That's in the past. My high that I moved to Florida. So what's the low? Dang. Honestly, I feel like there were a lot of lows for 2024. I'm gonna be demure, I'm gonna be cute, I'm gonna be mindful. I'm not gonna go into anything political on this channel. I'm not gonna go into anything that's gonna cause rifts between us, because you guys are my audience now and we're gonna be a positive group, okay? We'll just say, I lost so many friendships. I lost so many connections. I lost a lot. I think we all can agree 2024 was like one big lesson. You just had to learn whether you wanted to or not. It was a lot, but I will say too, I feel like when you are in a state of losing things, it's because spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in, God wants to clear out space so that you can receive the new. So cheers to loss and receiving more new beautiful things. Okay, so I've done my concealer. So with me, I like to really kind of, I don't know the terms, you guys. I just know I don't want to be one color. I like to contour. I believe that's what they call it, contouring. I believe the girls are calling it contour. And so I like for the outer rim of my face to be more the same complexion as my neck, and then the inside to be a little bit brighter And that's where I like to play with colors a little bit. But you got to learn that lesson, because I was not always able to do my makeup and not come out looking like Michael Jackson. I'm trying to tell y'all, no shade to Michael Jackson, because I am a Michael Jackson fan. I was just watching videos earlier today, so I'm not finna shade the king. There's gonna be no Michael Jackson shade allowed. But anyway, back to the point of the video. Those are my highs and lows of 2024. Let's do some label talk. So as far as my label goes, you guys, it's a very, 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 very small business. I am the only member in the business. Did you know that? I'm the only member in the label as of right now, because I prefer to vet and, you know, take my time in building business relationships. One thing that I got from all of my connections in Rochester was a lot of lessons about the importance of contracts, the importance of matching yourself with people who have integrity. So if you don't believe in stealing money from artists, don't link up with someone who steals money from artists, because that will affect your reputation. So I'm carrying with me in everything that I do that my reputation is something I've literally bled, sweat, and died and cried for. So I'm not gonna allow anyone to come into my life and muddy up my name. If we're not compatible as business partners or as business connects, we don't have to do business together. It's okay. More wine. We're not getting paid for sponsorships, so we are not discussing what I'm drinking. Just know that it is white wine. Also, if you're coming at me because I don't let myself bake, I definitely don't. I don't know, maybe I don't do it right. Maybe I don't have the right materials, but I feel like baking, I'll just discuss it for the people who don't know, is when you use like a setting powder to kind of blend all of the makeup you put on before you move on to your finalizing the makeup steps. If you're baking correctly, then usually you want to do this. Give you an example. You put some of it on there and then you just let it sit and you find something else to do. I don't like that. I'm very impatient. I think that's why I'm an entrepreneur, because I just like to get stuff done. So you won't see me baking. I blend it in right away, honey, because I don't like streaks and I don't like cracks and crevices in my makeup. I'm a little old school. We get to the same outcome, don't we, darling? So back to what I was saying about reputation and the importance of compatibility when you're an entrepreneur trying to especially get a small business off the ground. You need people that are in alignment with you and your values, and that's really crucial to me. So I know some people, I've met some people, I've been given great advice, and I take that advice for what it is, but it doesn't mean that we always have to collaborate. I'm also in a space where I just want to give myself creative freedom. And we just take a moment to talk about all the artists, present and past, who we're starting to see what it looks like when you don't have creative control. We're starting to see what it sounds like when you're just at the mercy of whoever paid the bill. You know what I'm saying? I was never for that. I was always very headstrong, and I want a song to sound and feel like this. I want my brand to be represented like X, Y, and Z. And if you're coming in with opposites, like ideas that are opposite of mine, then we're not actually collaborating, are we? So we keeping the circle small for now. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Now that I'm in Florida, I'm actually making some really awesome connections, and I'm really excited to come up with some new projects. I have some music videos out for your enjoyment. You can find them on my social media. Facebook under Marshay Dominique. I'm on Instagram under Marshay Dominique. And for now, I'm on TikTok under Marshay Dominique W. I don't know what's going on with the TikTok, but for as long as we have it, I'm going to use it. You guys can find me on all of these links anywhere. You can search my name on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. I have music and creative projects everywhere for your enjoyment. Can I come for myself right now? It's not enough. I love to direct my own music videos and to produce a concept from start to finish. So 2025, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting in front of that camera. I have music videos that I want to do. My first project is going to be a song called System. This is a sexy, busty Floridian song. I actually completed this song in Rochester, and it's been released for a while, but I just feel like the spirit of Florida is in that beat, you know? I created the beat. It's got samba, salsa. It's just very sexy. The song is called System because I wrote the lyrics about basically being attracted to someone, and maybe they're attracted to you, maybe they're not. Kind of like the thrill of the chase. So System is probably gonna be number one on my list of things to do. I wanna make a music video for System with sexy dancing. I love to dance. I love to dance. If you saw my Dance For Me teaser, which is on this channel, then you know I love a good Kiki. Put me in front of the camera and I will light up the world, I promise. I'm doing brows, you guys. I do a thin brow. If you notice, my brand, every single picture, I have thin brows. I don't like big, chunky, bold, overdone brows. And I was in that phase too, where the girls were like overdoing their brows. I had red brows at one point. I had red hair and red brows. I was in my loud Rihanna era for a moment. But today, I'm in my blonde bombshell era with my thin 90s brow. Just giving a big shout out to the 90s because I'm a 90s baby. So we talked about music videos a tad. I want to get back into label talk again. I want to hit you guys with some of the things that I've learned that 2024 has taught me as a brand new label owner. I actually connected with some very, very talented individuals. And let's get into the drama. Let's get into the tea as we do these shadows. We're gonna get into eyeshadows. I'm not getting sponsorship. You will not hear me tell you what I'm using and where I bought it from. Do not ask. No, I'm just kidding. You can ask. I'll tell you if you ask in the comments. I'm not gonna plug it in my video, okay, in the video. But no, as far as the drama, that's another reason I left Rochester. I'm not gonna lie. I'll say I fell in love with music when I was like 4 years old, probably older, but because memory doesn't allow me to go back any further than that, I remember the first time me and my parents realized, oh, she's got something going on here. They were driving and I was in the back seat, but you know, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt and I was just kind of hanging out between my mom and my dad and I'm just listening to the radio. Tina Marie comes on. Tina Marie, Lover Girl. I just want to be yours. No copyright. There's a little snippet. Go look up the rest of the song if you don't know it. But Tina Marie was one of my major inspirations when I first heard her singing. She's a soprano. If you don't know, that's a very high register of singing. I'm a soprano. I can fit into any range you stick me in, but soprano is home. So Tina Marie just had this beautiful natural soprano register and I was like, oh my God. And I started singing along and I must have sounded good because my parents both looked over and was like, what? That was when I think we all just kind of realized there's something going on here and it's bigger than just listening to the radio and liking what we hear. Fast forward to when I turned 13, I had started writing to songs, and back then you didn't have like beats, you had CDs and you had cassette tapes. So I remember we got like a jazz cassette tape, or I think it came with some kind of karaoke machine I was using. Had like 12 tracks that were all jazz inspired, and there wasn't any singing over it. So I would listen to the songs and I would write my own words and I would sing my own melodies and be like, oh, what if it had a little bit of this in it? And that's when I kind of started to get really creative, and I would sing it for my parents and they'd be like, that's pretty cool. You need to make your own song. So at the tender age of 13, they did book me a studio session with a local producer who had his own beat and he played it for me. My parents were in the studio session. This was when we knew a child being young and wanting to be in the entertainment industry meant they needed guidance. You couldn't just drop them off with a grown man in the studio and hope for the best. You had to be around. You had to be a present. You had to, a presence. And I appreciate my parents for that. Although I was very frustrated. Like, we did make the song. I don't remember what it's called. We don't have the CD anymore. But they'll verify it for you. One day I'm gonna be doing big superstar interviews on the red carpet, and you guys will hear my parents, yeah, we was there. They paid for the studio session. I record the song. The guy bounced it out on a CD. Bouncing it out is when you download it so that you can take it from the studio and listen to it where you go. I had it on a CD and I would listen to it and I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I just was sold. And from there on out, drama, baby. Drama. My parents supported me, but I think they were a little nervous about the fact that, you know, I'm 13, I want to break into the industry and I have this big talent. I spend 90% of my time doing music. When most people were playing with kids and hanging out, I was writing music and listening to songs and literally emulating the likes of Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. I had the range, so I could sing those challenging songs. Even Beyonce, I know people say I sound a lot like Beyonce and it gets under my skin. I'm gonna tell you a story about that later. Yeah, I think my parents were just a little nervous, you know, that's definitely something that would be concerning to me if my child told me, hey, I wanna be an artist. And I know the industry is a dark, dangerous, scary place, and I don't want them to get chewed up and spit out. So we had a period of contention where my parents were like, listen, you want to do music, but we want you to be a doctor. You want to do music, but we want you to pay the bills. We don't want you to be a starving artist. And I went back and forth about it for a while. I think I went to high school. I did performing arts programs. I was in plays and contests all over the country. I was in extracurricular activities like cheerleading and volleyball. I was trying to find myself, but I always came back to music. So thank you, angels, for bringing me back, because I'm glad that I never, ever really left. It did take me a while to realize, like, you want to evolve into someone who has ownership. And that's really the difference between a lot of artists now and maybe 20, 30 years ago. If you wanted to break into the industry, you could only do it by way of the people who were gatekeeping success. So I'm not naming any names in this video. I don't want to be called front and center to any courts. I'm not trying to be on any of the sets talking about something I don't know nothing about. But what I do know is I'm very glad that I got to this point where I've educated myself on what it means to own an LLC, what it means to own your own publishing, what it means to own your own just production. It took me a very long time to get into production. But now that I'm into it, you know, I'm just very excited to put myself out there and to get in front of the people who do support me and who do appreciate me and see my vision, so we can get paid and we can bring respect back into the music industry. Amen. So the next point we'll talk about is the story I was almost going to tell you guys about why I have such beef when people compare me to Beyonce. So when I was, I was in high school. I might have been a sophomore or a junior, so forgive me if I'm getting the age wrong, but I was like maybe 16 or 17. Me and my two best friends, we formed a girl group. And I don't remember what we were called. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. I didn't want to be in a girl group. I was always a solo artist at heart, period. When I got into performing and I was doing really well, my friends were inspired and they were like, hey, can we do this with you? Do you need background singers? And I was like, I do. So they weren't really singers, but they could hold their own. And we did a really good job of practicing music. We sang songs like JoJo, Use My Shoulder. We sang Destiny's Child. I don't remember the name of the song, but when it was 3 of them, not when it was 4, 5, 6. And we had some bookings. We was doing okay. We weren't making any money, but we were definitely getting some notoriety. And one of the things we set out to do was we wanted to perform at our high school talent show. And I'm thinking, this is my breakout moment. Most of the kids at school had no idea I could sing. I kept it a secret. If you knew I could sing, it's because somebody told you and I didn't want them to tell you. There's one thing I don't like is being put on the spot. So if you know I can sing and you go, oh, this is my cousin. She sing something. I'm instantly incensed. I'm not a jukebox. Don't throw me on the spot. I understand now, you know, it's just intrigue. People are interested, so I don't ever have a problem with it now, but I definitely was upset about it when I was young and shy. Even though I was very talented, I still had to work on my confidence and being secure in my ability to wow a crowd. We decided we were going to perform Single Ladies for the talent show. We had male dancers, we had choreography, we watched the video for Single Ladies, and we had all the steps. And we get on stage, we're performing, I'm singing into the microphone, and I sound so much like Beyonce simply because we have the same lower register and we can trill and do all of these vocal techniques that most people can't do. So I was automatically just put into this category of you sound just like Beyonce. And I was like, God darn it. So when we finished our performance, we got off the stage. Don't you know, I had so many people coming up to me and saying, oh, you guys did so good. You guys played the track and you did so good. Excuse me? I was singing live. None of them knew I was singing live. They thought they was listening to the track. Baby, oh no. I was so upset about that because I wanted my breakout star moment. I wanted everyone to come to school the next day like, girl, I didn't know you could sing. Oh my gosh, you sound amazing. Everyone just thought I was lip syncing over the song. Talk about being crushed. So when anyone says, oh, you sound like Beyonce, oh, here we go. But I understand it, you know, when you don't really understand music or you're not well versed in actual technical things that deal with music, then to you just hear what you've already heard on the radio, and those are the connections that you make, which is fair. But back to the drama. So something that I've learned that makes me feel really passionate about my label and where I want it to go, I want to be able to assist artists. I don't want to control artists. I don't want to restrict them. I don't want to shelve them. I want them to feel empowered. I'm very big on artist empowerment. I think the more educated we all become, the more we can all make the same amount of money. If you understand, a lot of old record labels, they would do things like 360 deals. 360 deal, for those of you who don't know, is basically when you sign an agreement and there's fine print saying, we will be your label, we will push your products, we will fund you, we will put our money behind you, we will sponsor you essentially. But when you start making that money back, you owe it to us. You're capped at how much success financially you can actually receive, even if your project or your album or your single exceeds expectations. That's a pretty predatory thing to do. You hear about it from a lot of big artists like TLC. I'm learning what the technical terms are, and a 360 deal is basically a deal with the devil. I would never sign someone to something like that. I want my artists to own their own publishing. I'll make a little something on the side, but I'm not trying to keep you in a contract with me for the rest of your life. I want you to evolve and to build and to eventually leave the nest, honey. That's the kind of artist that I am, and that's the kind of record label owner that I plan to be. I have had a lot of situations where, even though I believe I have a big heart and I'm very big on educating others, I've had people take advantage of it. I've had people steal my intellectual property. And at the end of the day, I'm not name dropping, I'm not finger pointing or name calling. I'm going to take the ownership for that as an L that I have to take up on my own, because you need to know, if you have a business that you're serious about, you need to know how to protect it. So I would encourage anyone who wants to be an artist, who wants to get into communication with me about some of the wisdom I have, reach out to me, but not too much on it. You know what I'm saying? Let me figure out if we can do like maybe a Moneytown University. You know what I'm saying? That way I can give this free game, but also get paid. Chink, chink. So, that's just some of the things that I've experienced. There was a lot of people in Rochester really don't want to see you succeed more than them. some of the people I've dealt with. I'm not giving a blanket statement. Of course, this does not apply to everyone. I mean, just be careful out here. If you're going to collaborate with people, if you guys are going to make videos together, make sure that you're getting your share of profit. Make sure that if they're making money on the back end off of views, make sure that you're getting some of that money too. I think that being new to the streaming age, being new to the blooming influencer age, means we all kind of have to learn the hard way. But take it from me, you don't want to be financially struggling when your gifts are well worth you being successful. All right, guys, we are rolling on to the final segments of my show, starting with some wine. Cheers. I hope you're drinking something too. And we're going to end this with 2025 New Year's resolutions. I don't do resolutions, believe it or not. I think that it's kind of played out. And when I say played out, I think we all start every year this way. We're like, oh, I want to be 35 pounds lighter, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I got stuff to do. And we tend to fall off, and that's okay. We're allowed. But one thing that I want to stick to really honestly is being more transparent with you guys, I guess. I'm kind of a private person, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't be an influencer with influence if you're keeping all the good stuff to yourself. That's something that I really want to do. I think that 2024 was a particularly dark time for a lot of people, but especially for entrepreneurs, people who are already struggling to kind of make ends meet, and you're trying to make sense of how you can capitalize off of your visions, and being told, all the changes that are coming up, it's just going to make it harder. And hold on. All right. I want to be a source of encouragement. I want to be a source of empowerment and positivity for everybody who crosses my path, whatever path that is, if it's in person, if it's through social media, if it's through influencing online. I just want to be a beacon of positivity in the world. We all really deserve it. And I deserve it too, I've learned a lot of really good things. I have a lot of information that I'm excited to share. And yeah, I look forward to being more open. So I definitely want to do some mukbangs, and I want to do some fun stuff, but I want to do some serious stuff too. We have to talk business, okay? I'm very big on generational wealth. I think we all are, but at some point you have to stop talking about it and you have to start being about it. I will say one thing I've always wanted to talk about is the fact that I didn't go to college. I went to college, I started in college, but I didn't graduate. Honestly, don't think I will. I don't have any plans to go back. I'm from a school of hard knocks. I guess I prefer to learn the hard way and just get the information and then interpret it how I want to, versus paying $100,000 a year for someone else to tell me how to interpret it. No shame if you actually go to college, but I'm probably not going to. But it doesn't mean that the information I have is not valuable. I want to just kind of shed light on the fact that there are a lot of different ways to be successful. I was always kind of told, you're not a college graduate, you're not going to have access to the things college graduates have access to. You're not going to be able to get your dreams off the ground because you don't have X, Y, and Z. And that's the negativity that I've moved away from. Success to me is defined as being able to wake up from one day to the next and decide what my day is going to look like. I am not against working a 9-to-5. I have never been against it. I understand you have to make ends meet. I will always make ends meet. And what about it? No, I'm just playing. But basically, you do have to, you just have to interpret life the way you are supposed to for your purpose. For me, I didn't want to go to college and pay all this money to basically be receiving information how the university deems I receive it. When I was in college, the reason I dropped out, I'll just tell you, I went to City College of New York first. I went for about a year, straight out of high school. I majored in music, voice. And I got to the first class and they were talking about music theory. So yeah, I went to City College of New York for voice. I got to my first class and they started talking about music theory and I was like, I must be in the wrong class. Music theory, for those of you who don't know, is basically reading music. So when it's on sheet music, you can look at it and say, this is the key of whatever, and this is what I play the instruments in, or this is how I sing the song. You can read the sheet music and literally follow the song without any help. I don't know how to read music. I don't want to know how to read music. I enjoy picking something up by ear. I also enjoy training myself to learn it on my own. I just don't want to be handheld in the process. And maybe that's going to limit me in the future. I don't think so. It hasn't limited anyone else. There's a lot of people who can't read music and they're doing just fine. So, you know, I sat through 8 more months of college at that point, and I said, you know, when do we get into the good stuff? When do we get into learning about business and learning about how to basically capitalize off of the gift? I just was waiting for that and it never happened. So I remember going to, I dropped out. I had some personal things happening in my life too, which caused me to drop out from City College of New York. And I ended up going to MCC, which is Monroe Community College in my hometown of Rochester. I might have done that for maybe not even a full 3-4 months. I was like, when do we get into, I did change my major to entrepreneurship and business studies, and I was waiting to get into the crust of that major. I actually spoke to one of my advisors who explained to me, you don't get into your major until postgraduate. So you'd have to graduate undergrad, get your bachelor's, and then go to college to get your master's and focus on your specialty. I'm not paying all that money to get the information when I could just get it myself. That's how I looked at things. That's how I took it. This is not advice. This is not obviously what everyone should do, but it's just what worked for me. We're on to pretty much the wrap up of this video. I'm lining my lips. I do a fierce line. Like I said, I'm kind of stuck in the 90s with it. What do you want from me? So I'm doing the line, you guys. This is how I finish up my lips. We're gonna do a little shine and gloss, and then we're gonna do a toast. A toast to 2025. If you watched this entire video and you made it all the way to the end, give yourself a massive pat on the back. And thank you, because I've spent so much of my life thinking my voice didn't matter and the experiences I was having were just for me to go through. I'm finally to a place where I see that's not what it is. You're put in people's lives for a reason, given the information that you have for a reason. Put it to use. We need it. We need it as a collective. Cheers. No, I'm just kidding. It's not even that strong. But this is the close of my video. I sincerely appreciate anyone who has supported me in my career from start to finish. Whether you jumped in now or you've been down for a minute, let's start a new journey together. 2025 is all about newness. It's about freshness. It's about creating the life that you want because you know you deserve it. Ashe. Like and subscribe, baby. Peace. What you wanna do? 'Cause I